It is the third and final day of the Sea Otter Classic, and as you can see behind me, we've got some super fun dual slalom racing going on. But if you take a look over that way, we've still got some vendors that we want to go and check out. So let's walk down this hill and see if we can find some new bikes to look at. All right, well, I'm not gonna lie, this is probably one of the things that I am most excited for about the show, and that's being here with Steve from Hardtail Party and Big Brain Party and hearing about his new bike that he has collaborated with Stanton to build.
Thanks Josh. Super proud of this thing. This is the Stanton Sedona. There's only one in existence. This is kind of our test mule. And the idea behind this bike is let's make a bike that's the most fun where hardtails are best, which is blue and green trails. And so it's got a short wheelbase. It's meant to kind of keep it tight and nimble at slow speeds. Super short rear end. We got a 415 chainstay.
Nice.
So it's kind of got a BMX-y trials-y feel to it. We've got floating seat stays right here so they don't tie into the seat tube. It keeps it flexible.
Cool.
We got room for a 2.6-inch tire,
wow,
which is really hard to do with a 415. Yeah,
okay.
It's built around a 120 fork. It's got a super tall stack, so you're not gonna be hunched over on this bike. It kind of rewards those that like to hang off the back and wheelie and play around everywhere.
Yeah.
So another thing we did is this lands ahead of the bottom bracket. That's pretty unique. And that allows us to run our dropper completely internal with rattle free, which is good. But what it really allows us to do is run a longer dropper. So normally there's a little window here where your cable comes back in and you lose all this potential dropper room. I have tiny legs and I can fit a 200 mil dropper on this size medium.
Wow.
And that's pretty unique. So you can run super, super long droppers, and my dropper comes into here. So it's all the way inserted there, where if I had a little window with a cable going in, I wouldn't be able to do it. So yeah, we obsess about all the little details, like where each cable tie is, what angle it's at. But I think if you're gonna do it right. I'm super excited to get these out in the wild. Hopefully you can get some time on it. You're gonna love it, knowing your riding style. And yeah, pre-order's gonna open up soon. More info on the website. Yeah,
cool.
Thanks for checking it out.
Thank you, Steve.
Alrighty, take care.
All right, we are at one of the most requested brands from you guys down in the comments, and that is, of course, Polygon Bikes. And I'm here with Serena, and she's gonna tell us about two prototype unreleased bikes that they are working on right now that will probably be out later this summer.
Correct, it'll be out later in the year.
Cool, what do we got?
So we've got our super light e-bike, so the Cisco TLE. It basically looks different from our regular setup to what we've been doing, but it does have the same base with the IFS system at the back. So it's a 150 fork with the Fox 38 on the front and the 140 on the back. And then it comes with the XX with the T-type drivetrain with the Bosch Performance SX motor.
Cool.
So it does have the 400 battery, and it will come included with the PowerMore with the extra 250.
That's so cool that you guys are going to include it with that, you know? Because I think that makes the bike so much more versatile that you can take it out with a 400 watt hour battery and ride for, 2 hours, 3 hours, or you can throw that range extender on there and go for a full day ride.
Basically come as a full powered e-bike.
Yeah. And that's a carbon frame, right?
Correct, so full carbon frame, the rear linkage is just one piece.
Do you have any idea of like complete bike weight yet, or is that kind of to be announced?
This is approximately 41 pounds, I want to say. So very similar to an enduro regular bike.
Absolutely, and very competitive with other lightweight e-mtbs that I'm sure are going to vastly outprice this thing, and we'll wait to hear from you guys what pricing will be.
Perfect.
Yeah. What else we got going on?
We have the DH, Colossus DH. It looks similar to the Colossus N9, but does have a new frame and geometry.
So it's a completely different frame than the enduro bikes?
Correct.
Cool.
So this is our higher spec model, and we will have another model that's a little bit lower.
Okay.
Under this one. So hopefully this one's a big game changer for everyone that's looking for a downhill bike.
Absolutely. I feel like downhill bikes are getting less and less common with the prevalence of, super capable enduro bikes, but the fact that you guys are bringing something like this to the market, and it's bullet compatible, right? You can run it 29 or 27.5?
Correct, so we have a couple of different flip switches.
Yeah.
So on the rear you can have 29 or the MX setup.
Okay.
We also have the flip chip on the high and low for the bottom bracket, so whichever setting you like. for however you want to ride. You can change that.
Neat.
And then you can actually buy like other branded headsets, cups, so you can change the angle of that as well.
Cool.
If this angle doesn't suit
So very
your riding style.
customizable. You can set it up for a
Yeah,
variety of
so
settings.
if you were to change the head angle, you then have 12 different configurations for one bike.
Cool, cool. And what are the travel numbers on this guy?
So this is 200 and 200.
Okay, so full on legit
Full
downhill bike.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you, Serena. This is all super exciting, and we'll look forward to seeing these bikes hit the market.
No problem.
We are here at the Trek booth. This is a very exciting place to be. You guys have tons of new stuff that is being launched this weekend. What are we standing next to here?
This is the Pro Caliber 6. It's our alloy hardtail race bike.
Cool.
We expect this to be super popular with the NICA crowd.
Yes.
Anybody that wants a light, efficient bike that doesn't require a lot of maintenance. There's not all the moving parts that you would get on a full suspension, so you're gonna save a lot of money, you're gonna save a lot of weight, and you're gonna have a lot less to maintain.
Yep.
New this year with Pro Caliber is all of these models are coming with a dropper post, and we've also increased the tire capacity. You can go all the way up to a 2.4-inch tire, and we've also gone up to 120 millimeters of travel on the front. So this thing is not only fast, but quite capable as well. You're gonna be way faster on the downhills, you're gonna be way fresher and more comfortable, and that's gonna give you more energy to be faster to the finish line.
And a great bike for, you mentioned the NICA crowd.
Yeah.
I see, kids that are racing cross country, but they're also going on trail rides on the weekend, and they don't want to have a bike for XC racing and for their trail rides. It seems like a bike that can kind of do everything and fit that gap between, like, before you get to the Roscoe, it's going to be a little more race focused than that. Yeah,
and I don't know about you, I've ridden with a lot of NICA kids, and they like to get loose on the trail.
Oh, so absolutely.
Having those wide tires and that longer fork, they love it.
Yeah, cool. So speaking of long travel, I hear there's something a little bit squishier than this bike that you guys are launching this weekend.
Absolutely, let's go look at it.
Let's do it.
So this is our /SE/Special Edition. When we launched /Gen 6 this year, a lot of people were very excited about the high pivot suspension layout. Some people aren't quite ready to go there. Some people want that traditional suspension feel. And so we've brought back /Gen 5 for those riders. It's a bit lighter, it feels a bit snappier than the Gen 6 Slash. It's a little bit more on the trail end of the spectrum for riders that aren't quite ready for a bike as big as the /Gen 6.
Cool.
We've freshened it up, breathed some new life into it with this earth and air paint scheme.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
It is a Project One paint job.
Okay.
We paint these in Waterloo and in Germany.
Wow.
Nobody else does this foam paint job. The other thing that's really cool about this bike is you get a GX Axis drivetrain to keep the cost reasonable. But you do get flight attendant from RockShox.
Okay, cool.
And so that's your automatic damping based on your rider and terrain inputs. Kind of a set it and forget it suspension system, which is super cool on a long travel bike. You're gonna get super efficient pedaling, and then you're gonna get plush suspension on the way down without ever having to think about it.
Yeah, so almost filling the gap maybe between that high pivot / and like the Fuel EX.
That's exactly it, yes.
Somewhere in there.
That's
cool.
exactly it.
Cool. Well, this was such a popular bike when it came out, actually.
Absolutely.
My beautiful wife owned one, and awesome to see that it's back, and for people who are looking to get on just a, pretty dang fast, lightweight enduro bike.
Exactly.
Great option for it.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, thank you, Ross. Thank you for taking the time to chat with us about all these super things
thanks
you have
for
going on.
stopping by.
Well, we made it to our final booth of the Sea Otter Classic, and it's one that I am personally really excited to be at because, like me, Fairdale has their roots in BMX, and they have some cool products here, and I'm with Mike, and he's going to tell us about a little more about what you have going on.
Thanks for having me. Welcome to Sea Otter.
Thank you.
So in Sea Otter 2024, we brought our production version of the 29er Hardtail Fairdale elevator. This is our kind of BMX inspired, very maneuverable, nimble 29 hardtail, 130 millimeter fork, 406 millimeter rear end.
That's with a 29-inch rear wheel.
With a 29-inch 2.4 tire clearance.
Blows my mind.
And then for the complete bike, we did go with a reliable full SRAM GX build with an XD driver. So any upgrading from here, you won't have to do major wheel changes or anything like that. Full 4130 chromoly frame, and that does kind of touch into the BMX roots that we have. And a little bit of backstory on Fairdale and the roots of Fairdale. Fairdale did grow out of Odyssey BMX and Sunday Bicycles. So we do have a pretty deep 38-year BMX history. And so bringing a hardtail mountain bike to the market, we were looking for things that would both be good for the mountain bike world as well as good for maybe some older BMXers coming to mountain biking and just riders who might want something that's a little bit more fun while at the same time being an actual mountain bike rather than just a dirt jumper or or something that's like a little bit less useful. So the Fairdale Elevator came out, and we are expecting to have them in the next 3 weeks or so. We're hoping to say, let's say end of May, beginning of June release. Yeah.
Awesome. And what other bikes do you guys manufacture and sell?
Cool. So Fairdale bikes, we originally started with like a commuter line. So we started with like a single speed commuter, and then we moved over to the Weekender. And the Weekender really is the model that sort of made Fairdale a real brand. Once the Weekender got out to bike shops and into bike shop mechanics and stuff, we started to really see more and more Weekenders out there. People really enjoy the artistic aesthetic that we have with our graphics and with just the brand as a whole. And while we do have a ton of really core roots in bike riding, we do try to make it a little bit more fun at the same time.
Right back. Absolutely. I love it, man. I love it. Thank you so much for coming, and thank you guys for watching this video. That's a wrap on our Sea Otter Classic for 2024. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and like this video, subscribe to 99 Spokes, and as always, remember that bikes are for everyone. Have fun out there.